Very few companies are willing to ditch everything that they've done for an established genre just for the Nintendo DS, but that's exactly what Team Ninja did with Ninja Gaiden Dragon Sword. If you want something impressive and fun on the DS, something you've never played before, this game is it. So even though the Ninja Gaiden Dragon Sword takes place in the same world as the Xbox and PlayStation 3 games, it really does play completely differently than the console designs. It takes full advantage of the Nintendo DS system's touchscreen for every aspect of the ninja action. The game is played in the system's book form, so you hold the system vertically so that the two screens are now vertical and side by side. If you're lefty, the touchscreen will be on your left side. If you're right-handed, it'll be on your right side. Everything about the game is handled by the stylus on the touchscreen. So you move around the environments by sliding the stylus on the touchscreen, and Ryu, the lead character, will move where your stylus is. All of his moves are location and gesture based, so a quick slide upwards will make him jump, slashing the screen will have him attack the enemy where you slashed, and a quick tap will have him attack that specific location with throwing stars or arrows. Believe it or not, this change in gameplay, this unique way of playing Ninja Gaiden actually works. Well, to a point. Though you only have a few specific moves, you can string these moves together into really cool combos. So you can rapidly slash at an enemy and then send him flying upwards with this upward slash, then leap up after him with another upward slash, grabbing the enemy and then slamming him down to the ground. So there's really cool moves that you can do in this game. You can also attack enemies with the sword by slashing them, but while doing that you can tap in another location to attack them with throwing stars from a distance. The only non-touchscreen control is in blocking. Every single button on the system, even the D-pad, is assigned to block. While blocking, you can tap the screen to evade attacks and hazards, making your character roll out of the way. Honestly, you won't have much blocking to do in the early levels, pretty much focusing all on the attacks, but later in the game you'll find lots of enemies that require a bit of punch-out like guard and attack strategy. When you actually get into the rhythm of slashing and tapping the screen, Ninja Gaiden DS is a whole lot of fun. But honestly, it's not perfect. If you get too cocky and try and rapidly tap the screen too fast, you might confuse the game into thinking they're slashes. And like I said earlier, the game focuses more on attacking in the early chapters, so early in the game it feels like the game's running on autopilot since all you're really doing is just stroking and tapping without any blocking whatsoever. My biggest complaint comes from the elements outside of the combat. Platform elements are a huge rarity, and when they do appear, they're very wonky. You'll occasionally need to roll out of the way from spikes or lasers or shooting out of the wall, but they're very easy to accomplish simply just by blocking and rolling out of the way with very little collision. Environmental puzzles are surprisingly simple, and boss battles are really cool looking, but they're really easy to beat since you really don't have that many moves to do. But it's really hard to ignore the game's strong point. The game just looks absolutely beautiful. The designers apply a Resident Evil style to the game, which means 3D characters on a 2D background. But it really does work and runs incredibly smooth and fast with some amazing animations. There are even a few areas in the game where it runs at a full 3D environment. All boss battles do, and the level leading up to the final battle does, which really teases players into wondering what the game might have looked like if the designers went entirely 3D instead of the Resident Evil cheat. Maybe we'll see that when Team Ninja does a sequel. In all, the game looks fantastic and plays great. It takes about 6 to 8 hours to get through the game on the first try. It's admittedly not a very tough game like the console versions, but there's enough of a challenge to keep you going, including when you unlock the much harder difficulty at the end of the game. It's beautiful, it's fun, it's unique, but it's not perfect. Still, it's awesome on the Nintendo DS. It's not going to change the way Ninja Gaiden's played on the console, but as a Nintendo DS game, it really works, and it's well deserved of the Editor's Choice Award that I gave it. If you want to know the full score, as well as everything that I thought about the game, make sure you check out my written review on IGN.com.